Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now we have been looking at our video requests from you guys, and we've noticed that over the last couple of months there has been a very frequent request, shall we say, for an updated handbag collection video. So if you're a regular, this is an update for you. If you are new here to my channel, then you're about to see a lot of handbags. Now, for some of these bags, because I have them all laid out in front of me and it's actually a bit sickening. But for some of these bags, I have done an in-depth handbag review. So I'm going to link a playlist down below in the description box so that you guys can head to each one of those if there is a specific bag that you are looking for and you perhaps just want to hear a review about it. If there's any bags from in today's video that I haven't done a review of, like a thorough review, and you want one, leave those requests down in the comment section below, because we go through all of our comments and we make videos that you guys want to see. So let's get stuck in, because I've just counted these and there is 28 for me to get through, which is a hefty amount. Okay, bag number one, and oh, that was a good start, wasn't it, Emma? Bag number two. Yes, I have two of practically the same bag. There's a little bit of a story behind that. It's not a very interesting one. Basically, I bought this one over a year ago, and this is the medium size Loewe basket bag. And then earlier this year, I was actually gifted this one by Sky Atlantic to celebrate the new season of Riviera. This is the size which is in between small and medium, and this is just called basket. So it basically goes small, basket, medium, and then large. So there's been lots of you guys who are used to seeing these over on my Instagram, and you've all been asking me about the size. I've actually been telling you guys that this one was a small because that's what I assumed, because I knew I'd bought the medium last year, and this one is smaller, as you can see, so I presumed this one was small, but I have now been informed that this is called basket. Anyway, now we've got that size issue out the way, I would actually recommend that this size is more practical. So lots of you guys have been asking me that question. Which one would you go for? This one is more practical for beach and holiday, like when you need to stick a towel in there and all that kind of stuff. But if you're a city girl, or you just want to use one for sort of everyday use with sort of just normal outfits, then I would go for basket. So they're great bags. Obviously this one was gifted. I'm going to put this one down a second, just talk about this one. I have done a thorough review of this one, so that is available over in that playlist in the description box. As I said in that review, it is just a basket bag. You are essentially just paying for the logo and for the leather trims, which you don't get on a lot of basket bags. I have worn them, probably this one a little bit more now because it is more practical for day to day, but I have worn them a lot. This one on the back, as with any basket bag, they are delicate in nature, so you do have to look after them. This one I wore and travelled with quite a lot last year. I took it to Kos, I took it to Turkey, and this one has started to get a bit of damage down in the bottom, so just be careful, because obviously they are quite a lot of money, but in my personal opinion they are well worth the money. A basket bag is something that I wear every single summer season. I will always take one away on holiday with me, so that's why I decided to keep both, which I know having two of essentially the same bag with literally a couple of inches difference might seem a bit excessive, but if it's something that I wear a lot, then for me that's not really very excessive. On to summer bag number two, or technically number three. This is from a brand called Kayu. I was gifted this by Net-a-Porter. Anything that's gifted, by the way, if I forget to mention it on screen, it will be marked very clearly and transparently so you guys can see down in the description box below. So yes, this is by Kayu, and this is actually part of the new Net-a-Porter Sustain collection. It's basically they've curated a collection of some of their designers and some of the pieces from the designers' collections, and they've popped it all into like a little sustainable area, and it's called Net Sustain. So to celebrate the launch of that, they sent me this and a couple of other bits, and this is called the Pippa bag. So it is underneath all of this sort of raffia, it is essentially just a basket bag. It's got beaded handles, and then it's actually really structured as well. It's quite a stiff bag. So if you're traveling, I would say that this is more of a sturdy bag in comparison to the Loewe bags. They feel very, very delicate. And if you're going to be shoving them, you know, on a plane under the seat in front of you or in an overhead bin, which is what I have done, that's where they can get damaged a little bit. Whereas this one actually feels really sturdy, and because it's got all of this raffia over the top of it, it just feels a little bit more durable. So inside it has a fully closable pouch sort of cover thing which goes over the top. You can drawstring it, so that's for security, and also probably to avoid getting loads of sand in your bag and stuff as well. It's a really good bag. I haven't used it that much because it's relatively new, and because it is quite structured, you can't actually fit it, you know, like over your shoulder, which you can do with the Loewe bags because they have adjustable straps. So this is predominantly just a sort of handheld bag, which is a little bit limiting, but nonetheless really, really good for summer. Okay, next up is the Canage tote from Dragon Diffusion. I'm sorry, I've got it padded out with loads of dust bags, so I'm going to take them out so you can see it in full effect. This is woven leather, and I discovered this brand. I actually discovered this brand from some Asian bloggers that I follow. It seems that this is quite a big trend amongst Asian bloggers, and I saw loads of them wearing different designs from Dragon Diffusion. They don't actually have their own website that you can purchase from. They don't even have their own Instagram. You can check out the hashtag, which is hashtag #dragonbags, which I have been using whenever I've been sporting this one. They've got loads of different styles. They've got a really nice one, I think, called Nantucket, and that's more of like a rounded tote bag shape. But I saw them and I kind of stalked the hashtag for a little while, fell in love with them, just thought they were a really cool bag. I loved the idea of this woven leather. I wanted something in tan because I knew it would be something I would wear a lot during summer. It's really durable. I think it ages well. And yeah, again, just a really good bag. Very, very roomy. The only drawback I would say to this bag is that because it is a more open sort of weave here, we've got the more sort of, I would call this like the Bottega weave at the bottom, which is more tight so that you can't see through it, but then you've got this slightly open section, so when you put something in, as I just had with the dust bags, you're going to be able to see the contents of the bag here, which I overlooked when I ordered this. I wouldn't have said it's a huge drawback, but just if you're going to be putting loads and loads of stuff in your bag, then that's just something to consider. But some of their other designs, i.e. the Nantucket, is fully this close weave, so you can't see anything that's in your bag. But if anyone's looking at trying these out, they are stocked. I believe they have them, or some of the designs, on Matches. They also have them on Net-a-Porter, so I bought mine from Net-a-Porter, and there's quite a few French like department stores and French boutiques that stock this brand as well. So that is where you'll be able to get your hands on them. Bags 5 and 6, again, are another duplicate situation. So this is the Simon Miller BONSAI bag in size, if I remember correctly, size 30. So this is black nubuck with acrylic circular handles, and this one is obviously tan nubuck with wooden handles. This one I bought first a couple of years ago now, I think. When they first came out, because these were a bit of a trend bag, but I actually think that they're just quite cool, casual. I do think they make good summer bags. They are limiting in terms of the ways that you can wear them, because this is the only handle that they have. They don't have a shoulder strap, but then I kind of think that ruins the sort of design of the bag. So it is literally just a handheld bag. And also, I hate to be a bit negative about these, but I mean, they look cool, so that's obviously a bonus. They also have no closure inside. I'm sorry, this is completely stuffed out with dust bags, but there's no closure, no zip, no magnet, no drawstring pouch inside, literally nothing. So they are completely open. It's just something to be aware of if you're thinking about buying one of these bags. They're actually quite difficult to get hold of now because I feel like Simon Miller and this whole sort of ring bag had a bit of a moment. I personally still really like them. I would say that they are more of a summer bag, even this one in black nubuck, which I suppose you could get away with in winter, but I personally just feel like this whole ring situation and the size of it is more of a summer bag. So there we go, there's those two Simon Miller bonsai bags. Next up is the By Far Rachel bag. You guys would have seen this not so long ago on my recent Net-a-Porter unboxing vlog. So I haven't had this very long, but I have actually worn it a few times already. It's just it's a very practical bag if you don't carry a lot with you. So this is a perfect little underarm, little baguette bag, I suppose. Very reminiscent of the 90s, which, as I've discussed in many videos before, I'm a big fan of, and by far use the 90s as a huge reference when designing their bits and pieces. So this one, it said at the time I bought this it was exclusive to Net-a-Porter, but I think I've seen this on Raisin now, so clearly their exclusivity period has ended. But it is sort of a beigey neutral tone snakeskin effect. This is not real snakeskin, it is just snakeskin effect printed leather. Hardware is silver, and of course it does have the zippy closure on there as well. Just a really cute little bag, especially if you're just going to wear sort of jeans and t-shirts like myself. It's a nice way to add a little bit of detail to your outfit. Haven't had it that long, haven't done a review on this one yet. If you're interested, leave me a comment down below. Ah, Jacqueline, she's so beautiful. So again, for those of you who are new, I do name my handbags. Actually, not all of my handbags do have names, but the main characters, shall we say, in this love affair have names, and this is Jacqueline. So I did a few videos on Jacqueline, actually. I did a whole process on how I actually went about buying her, because she is vintage. She was born, I was going to say made. No, she's a person. She was born in 1991. She's almost as old as I am. She is black lambskin leather, so the smooth leather, and with the gold hardware, and because she's from 1991, she has the genuine gold plated hardware, which again I've referenced in previous videos. You will only get that on vintage Chanel handbags that are 2008 and backwards. So anything up to the year 2008 you will get the gold plated hardware. Anything after that is just gold tone. So I've done lots and lots of tips on buying vintage handbags. I made a whole video on that a couple of weeks ago if you want to hear more. But this bag in particular, I just love it. This was the one bag which I've said was probably the best investment, even though I didn't pay for it. Simon bought it as a Christmas present, but I hunted her out and found her myself. This is definitely a really good investment. I know they're so much money, and even secondhand and vintage, they cost a lot of money, but Chanel doesn't really depreciate in value. I mean, if we think about how much this would have cost brand new, the amount at which I bought it at, the seller would have made, provided of course it was the original person that bought it, would have made a hefty profit, because everything goes up in price with inflation. But it's a beautiful bag. I just don't think you can get any more classic than a Chanel. It is an iconic bag. It's actually also very practical. I've mentioned before that it's really good with a jeans and t-shirt, but also I've worn this to weddings and sort of more dressier occasions. You can wear it crossbody. It is a little bit short. The chain is a little bit short, and it does come up sort of a little bit higher, just under boob height. But you can wear it as a shoulder bag. You can wear it as a shorter double chain shoulder bag. It's easy to access and get into. There's lots of different compartments in there as well. I couldn't fault it. And if you have the money and you're looking for that one real investment bag, I genuinely couldn't recommend a classic flap by Chanel more. But I would say buy vintage because you want the better quality from the slightly older bags. And also I just feel like they have a little bit more character, and if like me you're a bit creative and a bit wacky in the brain, you can create a little backstory for it. Ah, this little nugget. This bag creeps its way into every single one of my handbag collection videos. It needs a bit of padding inside. I ran out of dust bags because I've been choosing to pad out some of my more loved bags. But this is the Saint Laurent, and I think it's the Cassandra bag. It has silver hardware. This was an impulse purchase. I've said to you guys before, this was very much an impulse purchase. I went through a period of time where I just started to earn more money in this job. This was a few years ago now, and I kind of got a little bit carried away, and I literally went into Selfridges one day, bought this, and I did love it for a good few months, and then I very much found that I was wearing a lot of gold jewellery, and although my wedded bling is white gold and my watch is a mixture of silver and yellow gold, it just bothers me that this has silver hardware because there is a lot of hardware there. However, as I've mentioned in all my other collection videos, I will keep this bag because it is a good option for an additional evening bag to my Chanel. And oh, almost broke the thing. I do really like the black sort of mock croc effect, and it is actually quite a roomy bag. I just don't quite feel that I get the wear out of it for the price I paid for it, and I also don't particularly want to sell it because I know that these have actually gone down quite a lot in value, so I just can't really bring myself to lose out on that much money. I'd rather keep it and sort of wear it occasionally than sell it. Next bag is the Chloe Nile bracelet bag. I have done a full review on this one. It is another bag which, granted and admittedly, I do not use very often. This tends to be a bag which actually, I wore this to Simon's brother's wedding back in March, and it was perfect as a little wedding bag. This is not a practical bag for day-to-day use unless you are someone that likes a really teeny tiny bag. So it does have, and the strap is inside, so it does have these rings you can attach to the long strap, so you can wear it as a crossbody bag or as a shoulder bag. And then obviously you have this detail, which is a nice little handheld option for if you want it for something dressier. The one thing I would say, I have this monogrammed, which this bag was a gift from Selfridges and they monogrammed it for me. I would actually advise, if you're buying a bag, because I know there's lots of luxury brands which do offer monogramming, even the Louis Vuitton ones where you can have that monogramming painted on, I would very highly advise to not have your handbags monogrammed. Unless you are really just rolling in cash, don't do it, because it very much limits you when you come to sell the bag. I am definitely one of those people. I try and be careful with what handbags I buy, but if for some reason I've just fallen out of love with a bag, aside from the YSL Cassandra, but if I've completely fallen out of love with a bag and I want to sell that and use the money to buy another bag which I'm currently really loving, then I will do that. So I do sell my bags and sort of trade them in, etc. This is going to be very limiting because my initials aren't even EH anymore, they're EC. But now I feel that someone isn't going to buy this bag unless they have the initials EH, and that is very limiting. So that essentially just removes part of the value from the bag. So that would be my tip. Don't get any bags monogrammed. So yeah, practical for something like a wedding, really good day-to-day use if you like a teeny tiny crossbody, but otherwise not particularly functional. It's a beautiful colour though, don't you think? I think that's a lovely nude colour. Onto another Chloe, which is the Chloe Tess. Now this one is the small size and the colour is motty grey. Very shiny gold hardware on this one. It actually has a mixture of gold and silver hardware, which I think is a bonus. I've done a thorough review on this one, so I won't go too much into all the pros and cons because I've listed them all in that video. Really good crossbody bag. It does come in a larger size, which I've mentioned before, I think is a little bit too big. I think this bag works really nicely in this size. It's actually surprisingly roomy inside. You can fit quite a lot in there. The only sort of really niggle of mine is that it's very noisy because there's a lot of hardware on these bags. Chloe do love their hardware. Now, I haven't actually worn this bag loads and loads, but when you have this many, I think it just becomes a case of there's some bags that you love more than others. For some reason, even though this is a relatively light shade of grey, I just feel like this one tends to be more of an autumn winter bag. I don't really know why, I couldn't tell you why, but that's just the vibe that I get from it. Very practical as a crossbody, actually really comfortable to wear because it's got quite a wide strap. It is quite heavy for such a small bag, again because of all the hardware and because the leather is quite thick and stiff. This was actually, because if you are a regular, you'll notice that I've started to buy a lot of vintage and pre-owned bags. This was actually one of the last, or it was the last handbag over £1,000, which I bought brand new. So I bought this off Net-a-Porter. I actually bought it with a discount voucher or a discount code because it was just before Black Friday in November last year. And yeah, this was the last bag that I actually bought brand new because I have started to buy pre-owned and think a little bit more sustainably when buying handbags. Oh, Judith. Oh, Judith. So this is Judith. For those of you who haven't met her yet, she has her own Instagram account, Judith Doing Things, of which she hasn't done a lot recently. I promise I need to try and update that account more because I have so many good ideas for Judith Doing Things. So this is the Loewe puzzle, small size, in tan leather with silver hardware. The silver hardware is quite difficult to get hold of now because Loewe decided to change it to gold hardware, which I know after my previous moanings about other bags with silver hardware, you'd think I would be overjoyed about. But actually, I prefer this bag with the silver hardware. For me personally, just my personal opinion, my personal taste, when you add the gold hardware to this bag, and it's a very shiny gold, again, like the Chloe, it just makes it look, to me, it makes it look almost a little bit tacky. So I actually prefer the silver hardware on this bag. Now, this I bought for my birthday, I would say 2 years ago. And I could not recommend this and the Chanel Classic Flap. I couldn't recommend another bag more than those two. Obviously, the Classic Flap is very classic, hence the name, iconic. This is just so practical. This is a bag that you can apparently wear in like 5 different ways. I never wear it in 5 different ways. I definitely never wear it as a rucksack, but because of all this paneling it's actually currently stuffed again with dust bags. It does allow you to squash it and you can wear it flat on your back like a backpack. I'm not into that vibe myself, but I either carry it by the top handle or wear it either on my shoulder or as a crossbody with this strap. Now, Judith has had so much wear, and actually I haven't inspected her in a long time, but she is holding up very nicely. For the amount that I wear her crossbody, I've got no wear, no like little bits of rubs or anything on the corners. I've also got no denim transfer on her, which is incredibly surprising, seeing as I wear denim, I would say 99% of the time. But yeah, an absolutely brilliant bag to the point where I have been on the hunt on Vestiaire for another one in a different colour, but perhaps I'm thinking of going up a size and going for the medium size, just that I've got something maybe a bit more practical for travelling perhaps. Gucci. This is the Gucci Soho Disco or Disco Soho. I can't remember the exact way that is, but this is quite an iconic and classic bag style of theirs. There's actually a lot of brands that have this kind of style of bag. It is literally just a little rectangle with a zippy closure on the top. This one has a little tassel, which I'm actually now not such a big fan of, but I wouldn't take it off just in case I ever came to sell this bag. This colour is champagne, so as you can see, slightly metallic. I do have the one with the older logo on there, but they update this bag all the time. They've brought it out in the marmot style. It's a very practical bag. This bag often tends to be something that I take with me when we go to a theme park, just because it's really durable. As you might be able to see on the close-ups in the other camera, it's got a textured leather, so unlike anything with a smooth leather, if you get a little scuff or scratch, it's actually really difficult to see. Again, with this one, I've had no denim transfer, which is again very surprising because I wear this as a crossbody. Has an adjustable strap, actually a really roomy interior. I can always, oh my god, there's still, I'm pretty sure I said this on my last video, but there are more crumbs in here, again because I take this out with me when I go to theme parks, and I always carry snacks and buy things like muffins and cookies, which are so not practical to store in a bag. But yeah, some crumbs in there, I'll save those for later. Again, really practical. Kind of wish I'd got this in a darker colour, perhaps like a navy or even, I dare say it, black, just because I feel like it would be more versatile in terms of styling it with different things. I occasionally appreciate the fact that I have something that's a bit more metallic. I would not go so far as to say that this is an evening bag. For me, it's definitely a day bag. It's not dressy enough to be an evening bag, and also I just feel like this boho tassel is a little bit cheap, even though the bag was by no means cheap. This actually has sentimental value to me, so this wouldn't really be a bag that I would sell, because Simon bought me this like literally a couple of days after our wedding. On our mini moon we went to Budapest, and we went to Hooters, which it was for Simon, and then we went to Gucci, which was for me. So I bought him chicken wings and he bought me the Gucci. And another Gucci. So this one is my latest handbag purchase. However, I bought this pre-owned off Vestiaire. She actually came all the way from Australia. G'day, mate. And this is the Gucci Lady Web in tan suede, and it actually comes with two straps, which this sort of green and red, very classic old school Gucci is one option. I think I still have the other one inside, which is basically just a matching tan strap. So this one I only got a couple of weeks ago, so I did a little sort of unboxing in a vlog, so I'm not going to speak too much about this. But this is definitely, I'd say this is old school equestrian Gucci, before Gucci started to get very very flashy and in your face and sequiny and colourful and too much for me. This for me is more my taste. It's very subtle. There is a teeny tiny little Gucci logo which is stamped into the suede there. Oh, suede is so not a practical fabric, especially for me, because I can be a bit clumsy, but I wanted this bag for so long, and I am so glad that I have this now in my collection. Moving on to Celine, and this is the classic bag. I know I keep calling this the box bag, but some of you have corrected me in telling me that it's actually called the classic bag. Box is the type of leather, and as you might be able to see in the close-up camera, I do not have box leather. I actually have liege leather, which is textured. It almost has like a very fine wrinkle to it, and I deliberately chose that. Again, there is a full dedicated video on unboxing this bag. I think, have I done a review? I can't remember. I might have even done a review on this bag as well. Yes, I have. I've just remembered. As if by magic. Yes, so there is a full unboxing on this bag and a review. This was another one that I bought second hand. It was barely used, like it had no signs of wear to it at all. I haven't worn it that much because I only bought it earlier on this year, and again I feel like this is more of an autumn winter bag. So in spring summer I wear a lot of baskets and the Dragon Diffusion bag, so this one I think I'm going to get a lot of wear out of. I hope I get a lot of wear out of it because it was very expensive, even second hand. And I wanted this bag for about 9 years, like literally wanted it for so long. It's so classic. Some people in the videos said it was boring. If you think it's boring, that's fine. Personally for me, it's classic, it's timeless, it's a very versatile, and it's also really practical as well. On to my next, which is an old lady bag. And that is literally an old lady bag. This became a bit of a trend, I would say, last year. Celine have a very similar bag to this one as well, a lot more expensive. This one is by Mansur Gavriel, or Gavriel, however you would like to pronounce it. And this, I believe, is called the lady bag, or the lady-like bag. One of the two. We'll display it on screen because my memory is not so great. This one, again, more of an autumn winter bag. And I feel like this has to go with a very specific outfit. For me, I feel like this is a big sort of heavy coat, either in black or camel, and it just suits this kind of bag. It's very sort of Duchess of Cambridge-esque, do you know what I mean? So this I've gone for in black. This was gifted to me by the brand themselves. It has a little kiss lock closure on the top, which actually mine, when I use it, I'm gonna see if it works. Yeah, see, mine doesn't actually stay together, so I might contact them and ask if there's some sort of repair process for that, because that's not great really. Very structured. It is a very specific kind of taste. I know this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I do feel like there is a certain kind of outfit that this goes with, and it looks very, very chic. Bit of vintage Burbs next. So this one was another bag which I bought earlier on this year. Bought this on eBay for either 30 or 35 quid. Very, very good triumphant purchase, if I do say so myself. It is like a coated canvas, you see, so it's quite durable, to be honest with you. It's got a little tab on here that has the Burberry brand stamped on there. Inside, I actually don't like the lining. I can't really show you guys because I've got padding in there, but it's like a nylon, super 90s monogrammed lining, but no one ever sees inside the bag, so hey ho. But this is just a really cute little bag. I've actually worn this a few times in summer just because I think it's really nice with like a white shirt and a pair of jeans. Not super practical because it doesn't have a shoulder strap. It is literally just a mini handheld tote, and that's what it's called. It's the Burberry mini tote from the 90s. Next bag is my Gucci Dionysus. This is the medium size. Another bag of mine which has silver hardware. It's got the Gucci, similar to the Burberry tote that I just featured. It's got the sort of coated Gucci monogrammed fabric on there, but then on the back, and this is where you can see the damage, it has a suede patch pocket, and this is where we've got some denim transfer and some dirt, and then inside the bag, not so much, but another bit of suede detail and kind of like a suede lining in there as well. I bought this one. Actually, no, I didn't buy this one. That's a lie. That's such a lie. Simon's going to be editing like this, going, what? You did not buy that bag. Simon bought me this bag before we went away at the airport, actually, as we were about to leave for our massive 6-week road trip around the US, which was our honeymoon. We went on our honeymoon a year after we got married because we had to save up so much money, and he bought me this, and actually I will never get rid of this bag, even though I don't wear it a lot now, but the memories I have of this bag, and also just having the Gucci carrier bag and going into some of the dodgiest motels with a massive Gucci carrier bag because we emptied out the entire car every night we went into one of our motels. Anyway, that's a story for another time, sorry. What I'm essentially trying to say is that this bag has sentimental value to me and holds a lot of memories, so this one is definitely a keeper. It's a beautiful bag. It's nice to have something which is a really nice neutral colourway. It's actually really practical in terms of the amount of stuff it can hold. We've got quite a lot of room in there. There's a zippy pocket as well, so in terms of security, it's really good. It's quite heavy. And the straps admittedly aren't that comfortable because of the weight, but you can wear it with a double strap or with the longer strap, and you can crossbody it, although admittedly it is a little bit big and cumbersome. So that's the medium Gucci Dionysus. Chloe Faye's, number 1, number 2. Faye the first, Faye the second. As the name would suggest, the first came first. This one is another bag that has sentimental value to me because I bought this just before my 30th birthday, which was a month before Simon and I got married. And also, this bag was something, it wasn't my first designer bag. I had a couple of others before this, but this bag was something which I was able to buy because my blog had just started to take off after like 6 years. It was like a long climb to this point. And I had a collaboration, and because it was my birthday and because we were getting married soon, I decided to treat myself to this bag. I have mentioned previously that it was not the best colourway for me to go for, but I did consult, I blame you guys, because I consulted you guys on Instagram at the time I was buying it, and you were all like, the beige, the nude colour, it's so beautiful, because it was a toss-up between this colour and black. And I went for this colour, which if we turn around to the back of the bag, and I'm not sure how much you can see this on camera, but there is quite a lot of damage / dirt and griminess to this bag. So admittedly it doesn't get worn very much, but she is still so beautiful, and as I said, sentimental value. They're quite heavy, the Chloe Faye. They are not as noisy as some of the bags, but you can definitely hear when someone's walking with a Chloe Faye. It's like when you can hear when someone has a pair of Chloe Susanna boots. It's a very distinctive sound. So this is, what is this colour called? I cannot remember. It's not Motti. I cannot remember for the life of me. We'll display it on screen, or I'll put it down in the description box. I don't think this colour is available anymore because this is a few years old. And then this one I got probably 9-10 months later. This was a gift from Farfetch, and this is like a dark green khaki colour. Much more practical. Because obviously it is a darker colour, and this one is in really good condition. This one I tend to wear more in autumn winter just because it is this kind of darker colour. Balenciaga, and what is the name of this bag? Is it the city bag? The motorcycle bag? I can't remember. Literally cannot remember what this is called. My memory is doing a blinder today. But this is in navy blue leather. I bought this earlier on this year from Bicester Village. Went on a little shopping trip with Debs, and this is what I picked myself up. I got this part with a gifted voucher, and I paid part my own money. I think it was relatively like half and half. I got this because I found that I did not have a navy bag, and I felt that a navy bag was something that I needed to wear. Or I needed in my collection, not needed to wear. Gold hardware, which I quite like. This bag in general is very practical. I had one of these in a smaller size. That was actually my first ever designer handbag. It was the Motorcycle Lidix handbag. I got that after seeing them have it in every single colour on the Simple Life. What a throwback, by the way. Awesome programme. And yeah, I loved it so much, it literally fell apart. I wore that to death for a good 10-15 years. And so I decided to get another one. I haven't worn this very much because I feel like I bought this more as an autumn winter bag. I know, I feel like all my collection is autumn winter bags, but I did buy it as more of an autumn winter bag, and also potentially as a travel bag. I did actually use this as a travel bag when we went to Munich for Simon's brother's wedding, so I did actually use it and it worked really well because it's a shoulder strap. Mine in particular has like a crinkly leather, which I think is quite practical in terms of like scratches and showing marks and things. Obviously it's a dark colour, so not really going to get much dirt on there. Yeah, really good bag, really roomy, comfortable to wear as a shoulder bag, not super noisy in terms of hardware. Yeah, just a really, really good bag if this is the sort of bag that you would wear quite often. It's very practical. Back to Gucci. This, I think, is called the small top handle tote, maybe? I always struggled to find the name of this one because it is a little bit older, but this one, Simon bought me this just before Christmas one year because I couldn't make it to our annual family get together, and he bought me this from Munich airport because I couldn't come. And it's a really good, really practical bag for so many reasons. Number one, it has like a textured leather to it, and it's quite a structured leather as well, so it really keeps its shape. I do have a couple of dust bags in there, but it's not the sort of bag that you have to pad out. So practical with the leather. It also has the two top handles, as the name would suggest, an adjustable shoulder strap, which you can wear crossbody. Sorry, half the strap is actually tucked inside the bag, so it doesn't look very long, but it is actually very long. So you can wear it as a crossbody. That strap is also detachable if you didn't want the strap flapping around. And it has a zippy closure inside, which is really, really good if you live in a city and again you're worried about handbag security. This one also has the slightly more classic older Gucci logo on there, which some people might say is outdated, but as I said earlier on, I actually prefer the older Gucci bags to the newer ones. They're just a bit too much for me. Got the little luggage tag on there as well. Really decent size, you can fit a lot in here, so practical for day-to-day wear. Yeah, there she is. Don't really know what else I can say about this one, but it's definitely a classic bag that I won't get rid of. Another vintage bag, this is my Fendi Baguette Mama. I bought this size rather than the standard baguette just because I felt like I needed something or wanted something a little bit bigger. This is the brown neutral shade of Zucca canvas, which is basically the F monogrammed canvas. Detachable strap. Mine was in really good condition, just apart from these little flippy out bits from the strap, but you can actually flip the strap over so that those kind of curl back the other way. Silver hardware, again, another you can see from the side, the depth of it. Really, really roomy bag. You can fit a lot in there. There's not loads of compartments either, just one main compartment, so there's not like any need for faffing about, and you're not losing space with like dividers inside the bag either. Really good bag. You can pick these up with them being vintage now. They're from the 90s. You can pick them up relatively, I don't want to use the word cheap because cheap obviously means different things to different people, but I bought this I think for about 220-ish pounds off Vestiaire. If you have a hunt round, you could probably find one for a little bit less. If you're going for a smaller baguette, they might be even less. And yes, this canvas is also very, very practical. I was a bit unsure as to whether I should put this bag in this video because I'm not sure if this brand is classed as designer. They are like €340, so I would say that is, you know, quite expensive for a bag, and in comparison to the Dragon Diffusion bag, which is of a similar price, I feel like that classes them as designer bags. But this is the Elleme Raisin bag. Again, another new addition to my handbag collection, kindly gifted to me from the brand themselves, and I did a little unboxing kind of first impressions in the same video as I did for the Gucci Lady Web recently, which was a couple of vlogs ago. I love this bag. I actually am looking at buying another one because this is such a practical bag. I really like the style. I don't know, maybe if it's this colourway that's made me fall in love with it so much, but this one's like a taupe with a navy. The strap is kind of two-tone, so you could wear it either way. We've got this little top handle here as well, which actually connects together inside the bag, so it creates almost like a circle. Super practical. This is the Raisin, which is technically the larger size, but there's another one called the BONSAI maybe, and that is a slightly smaller version, and I think there is then a larger version of this as well, but they all have different names. It's not like the small Raisin, the large Raisin, they just have different style names, but it is the same style of bag. Really good as a shoulder bag. This one in particular, a bit too big as a crossbody, but perhaps if you went for the smaller size, which is the BONSAI, then that one might work as a crossbody. It's a beautiful leather, although it is a smooth leather, so you would have to be careful in terms of sort of scuffs and scrapes and scratches and things. It has feet on the bottom, which is good for protection. Really, really nice quality Parisian brand, really well made, and yeah, just beautiful bags. Another vintage number, this is the Louis Vuitton Croissant GM, so this is the largest size. Bought this one a couple of months ago, another vestiaire purchase. This actually was not a bag that I was looking to buy. I was just browsing the vintage section, as I do day to day, every single day, hourly, on vestiaire, and I came across this bag, and I actually don't think I'd ever seen this style before, but I just really loved this kind of hobo. I mean, it's called a croissant because it's kind of a similar shape to a croissant, but I just loved the shape, and for me, I thought it was quite a reasonable price. I got this for like 400 and something pounds. And I had yet to buy a Louis Vuitton bag in this kind of monogram. In fact, I had yet to buy a Louis Vuitton bag. So I thought I would give this one a go, and I really like it. It's comfortable to wear. It's durable. I really like this sort of, I don't really know what this is. I don't think it's leather. I think it's classed as canvas, but it's not canvas. All the strap is leather, and as I've mentioned before, it's oxidised nicely. Someone has oxidised it to the nice tan for me so that I don't have to do that. Gold hardware, gold zip. It's got red alcantara lining. Yeah, really beautiful bag, and it's kind of made me want to have a look at buying some more vintage or pre-owned Louis Vuitton bags, because I didn't really love the brand before, but now I feel like it has sparked some sort of Louis V love inside me. Another vintage, this is my vintage Chanel backpack. So this one I actually bought off eBay. There's more information on that in the vintage handbags collection video. This one again has gold hardware. Some of my hardware on the straps has begun to tarnish, but it was like that when I bought the bag, because again, this is another old one and it was used a little bit more, so I might have the hardware replated. Really, really wise decision for me to get a backpack. I did not realise how valuable having a little backpack would be until I bought this, and it is so functional. It's just excellent for if you're doing, I don't know, a city break, or again, I do take this one a lot when we go to Disney. Really useful to have, very roomy. It's got a decent depth on there, so I can always fit in my camera, snacks, which is an essential, wallet, phone, keys, all the usual palaver in there. Yeah, I couldn't fault this bag, and I personally feel like I got a bit of a bargain with this bag, but yeah, it was a really great purchase, and I think if you would be the sort of girl to wear a backpack, then definitely worth having a look at maybe some vintage backpacks. But yeah, really, really thrilled with this purchase, and definitely something that I get a lot of wear out of. This one's looking a little bit misshapen, because admittedly I haven't padded this one out because I keep running out of padding, so I'm gonna have to wait until I get some more like paper or tissue or those little air-filled bags or something. But this is the Saint Laurent shopper tote. I've had this one for I think about 3 years now. This is in red, which is a really good colour to have to add like a pop of detail to an outfit. However, I find it a little bit limiting at times. The bag itself, if we put the colour aside, is such a good bag. It's a brilliant tote bag. If you're looking for a tote bag, yes, it's really good quality. I think they're relatively reasonably priced. I think when I got this one, it was about £560. I know they've gone up in price since then, and I know they have some with like fringe on them, and they often bring out different kind of styles, but the shopper tote, it's a really good size as a tote bag. Minimal branding on there, really subtle, so I think that's really classic. Got the little fob down there with the little YSL old school logo on as well. Yeah, admittedly, obviously mine has lost a bit of its shape, but that's my own fault because I don't use it that much. Inside, it also has the attached pouch, so I use this for like popping my passport and my wallet in there, because I do often use this as a travel bag if I feel like red is a good colour to go with the travel outfit that I have decided on. It has no feet, so the bottom of mine has got a little bit dirty, but I can't say that really bothers me too much, just general wear and tear. It's a nice sturdy leather. It's thick, but it's not heavy, which for a tote bag, which you would be inclined to fill and stuff and put as much stuff in as possible, they can often weigh quite a lot with them being sturdy leather, but this one's relatively lightweight. It has no main closure though, it just has a magnetic thing there, which is a little bit fiddly to do up, so it literally just has that, and then otherwise the rest of the bag is open. So in terms of theft prevention, probably not the best, but it does make a really, really good travel bag. I think this is my last bag. Yeah, I'm surveying the bag situation. So we're ending with one more vintage. This is my Chanel large classic tote with the chunky chain straps. So yeah, this is vintage. I can't remember the year of this one, but there's more details in the vintage video. This is smooth lambskin, so it does already have a few scuffs and marks on there. Hardware is a bit tarnished on mine, but I think that adds to the character of it. It's quite heavy. The leather itself is quite heavy. These chain straps are quite heavy, and the chain straps are also not particularly comfortable. So when I wear this bag, I tend to not overfill it because otherwise it would just be unbearable to have on my shoulder. But there's just something about this bag that makes me feel warm inside. It's just beautiful. It's so classic. It kind of, like I said earlier about my other vintage Chanel, my classic flap, I kind of like to invent a little story about where it might have come from, and this, I just feel like there was some really wealthy housewife that would carry this around, and then she was scorned by her husband, so she sold it because it was a gift to her, or I don't know, something very dramatic, something out of a Danielle Steele novel. Wow. I feel like that was a lot of handbags. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I tried to make it as snappy as possible, but I have a habit of liking to tell stories about bags. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As I mentioned in the intro, if you have any of these bags that I haven't already done a thorough review of and you would like to see one, please do leave those down in the comment section below, because we always go through the comments and we look at what you guys would like to see from us. And for me personally, I really enjoy making handbag review videos because I think they're really useful to you guys. Handbags, especially these, they cost so much money. So I think if I can help you guys into making an informed decision so you don't waste your money, then to me that's a good thing. So yes, leave me those suggestions or requests down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching and spending however many minutes of your day with me. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I will catch you guys on Tuesday.